Brandon, hang in there, buddy. We're just getting ready to go live, and he's setting it up.
Are you looking for comprehensive solutions for your performance and automotive needs? Straightline Performance and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop specializing in race car fabrication, electrical design, chassis setup and alignment. Located in Hamden, Connecticut, they also specialize in aftermarket high performance and chassis upgrades. Be sure to look them up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/straightline, STR8LINE, Performance, ampersand Automotive, or give them a call at 203-415-5316. Welcome, racers and fans, to the Racers News Network Live, presented by Straightline Performance and Automotive, and your hosts, Chris and Pete, bring you the latest news and interviews in the world of sportsman drag racing, including bracket racing, association races, outlaw, and no-time events. We are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it away, boys.
I guess I didn't know.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Racers News Network Live. What's going on? We are one day removed from the beginning of the NHRA Northeast Division Open season. They kicked it off this past weekend at ADCO. We're going to talk a little bit about that later on. But as soon as I introduce my partner in crime, of course, Pete Sanka.
How are you guys?
Colonel? Good, Colonel. How's things?
Very good. How about yourself?
Awesome. And hey, Brandon, on the bottom left of your screen, just unmute yourself.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Beautiful.
And of course, I'm going to introduce our guest now, of course, the one and only, the son of the king, the Budweiser king, Brandon Bernstein. How are you, buddy?
Hey, doing well. Thank you, guys.
You're very welcome. So before we dive into the meat and potatoes of this interview, my partner, Pete, he wants to fanboy a little bit, if you don't mind.
Little bit.
It's all good.
So Chris told me a couple of weeks ago that he was going to approach you about coming on. And when you confirmed, I said, I have what I feel as though is the coolest story to tell.
All right.
So you remember Englishtown? You remember racing at Englishtown?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if your memory with how you guys parked your rigs, but sportsman racers were parked. We had to basically drive around you guys to get to the staging lanes.
Yep.
So they never let us down the center rows because that's where you guys are always setting up. We always had to go around.
Go around. Yep.
So typical sportsman racer gets there on like a friggin' Monday afternoon or something, right? We're racing, we're time trialing, Friday morning, time for first round. Okay. Keep in mind, this is my first national event.
Okay.
Pulling down, and I'm getting ready to go around the outside. And something was blocked on the outside, so they sent me down the middle.
Okay.
And your car was on the lift gate, hanging over. And I looked up, and I'm like, this is my first national event, and I'm getting ready to drive underneath Brandon Bernstein's dragster. I was like as starstruck as it got. It was the coolest thing.
That's
and
cool.
I drove underneath it. I'm like, whoa, that was cool. And then I proceeded to go like 9,000 red or something stupid like that. But
oh no.
it was really cool that was like my first NHRA starstruck moment. I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice. Very cool.
Just to kind of fill you in a little bit on Pete, Brandon, he races up here in Division I in New England, races Super Gas, Super Street mostly, but Super Gas when Super Street isn't available at a national event.
Okay.
And a car that he's had since he was 13 years old.
Awesome. That's
Of-
cool
of
stuff
Vegas-
right there.
Yeah,
Vegas
I want to
wagon.
say, don't quote me. I want to say it was like '07 when that
Yep.
happened. Do you remember what years you raced Top Fuel?
Yeah, so that would have been my rookie year. '07 would have been my rookie year then. Or no, '03 was my rookie year. Sorry, '03. So '07 would have been yeah, that's about right then. So '03 to what was that? '03, 14 years, 13 years.
Yep.
So yeah.
Right in the
somewhere
middle
there.
of it. What year was the year you hurt your back up there?
So that was '03. That was the rookie year.
Oh, that happened your rookie year. No
Yeah, it
kidding.
happened my rookie year. Yeah, we were leading the points at the time, and man, we were just having a great start of a rookie year, and then the crash happened. So yeah, no, that was unfortunate. So
Yeah, I was there for that race just as a spectator.
yeah, yeah.
That pretty
Yeah.
much happened right in front of me.
Yeah, a lot of
It
people.
was pretty crazy, and if I remember correctly, I want to say they had some pyrotechnics set up
Oh yeah, they did.
for the finale, and you kind of got tangled up in all that, right?
Yeah, so a funny story about that whole deal. You know, it had rained, you know, that night before, and so they didn't get to, you know, blow off all the pyrotechnics, and so they were still set up all the way down the track. And so when I hit the wall and went over, I basically just started mowing them over. And when I went over the wall, I mean, I remember it so vividly. I never lost unconsciousness when I hit the wall and everything. So, but I started hitting them and just taking them out. And when I took out one of them, I saw come off of the front of the nose, and the canister hit my helmet and landed in my lap.
Oh my God.
You know, so you know, you're thinking you make it through this crash and everything, and then you know, a pyrotechnic, you know, blows up in
It's
your
gonna look
lap,
like the
and you
4th of
die.
July in the cockpit.
Exactly. You know, it's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, when they got to me though, it was laying in my lap. It was just sitting there in my lap. So,
Wow, that's
yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, but I remember it coming right off of the front nose and coming at me. I was like, what the hell is that? And all of a sudden it hits my helmet and lands right in my lap.
Well,
Yeah, that's
thank God
crazy.
we could kid around about it.
Yeah,
Good
right.
Lord.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
So that's truly a moment where you say, I don't care about me. Get rid of this thing right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get this explosive out of my lap.
Now, was that accident, if I'm not mistaken, the way the car went up, it was kind of like your tailbone hit the Jersey barrier, obviously
That's
through the seat and everything.
Yeah, yeah. In
How
all
long
their-
did it take you to recover from that?
So that was 9 months. I had 4 months with what we called the turtle shell.
I remember that.
24/7 from my waist to my chin.
Right.
That was 4 months of just having that 24/7. I had to sleep with it, everything. I mean, just,
Wow.
and it was, and I didn't have surgery. So we were trying to let the natural process of the healing of the spine, do its justice and everything. And so, and then another 5 months of rehab, of getting my strength back and everything ready to go for that next year. But yeah, it was miserable. I mean, I've been in a lot of different crashes and different things, and had as a kid, I broke and did all kinds of stupid stuff as a kid, you know, in pain a lot. And, but that was the most excruciating pain because the fracture was so high up. It was in T3. And if you know the human body and everything, where T3 is, it's so high that your lungs, and every breath you take, your spine moves. And so,
Oh, wow.
so anytime I would breathe, move, any type of movement, it was so excruciating because that fracture was actually indented on the spinal cord. It just didn't sever anything on my spinal cord.
Right.
So I was
Thank God.
literally millimeters away from being, you know, paralyzed. I mean, it was unbelievable. The good Lord above and the great safety safari folks of getting me out the way they did and did everything the right way. You know, and everybody at the hospital, they just, I mean, everything was just done the right way. And the good Lord above, I mean, honestly, I had somebody watching over me for sure. So, but yeah, it was not fun. It was 9 months of hell. That's for sure. So
Sneezing and coughing must have been a treat.
yeah.
Huh?
Oh no, I couldn't like honestly, like my doctor said, you cannot get sick. Like I literally stayed at my dad's house. And for like 2 months, I didn't even go out of the house. Like I couldn't, he didn't want me getting around people to get a cold or anything. He didn't want me getting sick. Cause if I were to get sick and have a cough or anything, I mean, we could have moved the fracture and it would have been devastating. So yeah, I was basically bedridden and everything. I'll never forget it. Del Worsham, he sent me an iPod. And that was my first iPod I ever had, Apple iPod. Sent that to me as a gift, and he said, "Man, just download a bunch of music and enjoy your time laying there."
Right.
And I did, man. It was crazy, but yeah, it was nuts, man. It was crazy.
No fun.
No.
I can speak to the no fun part of that. I was 2 millimeters away from being a quad.
Yep.
And C2, 3, and 4. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, sneezing, coughing. My wife would have to take a blanket and wrap it around my chest and just squeeze as hard as she could.
Yeah.
When I had to sneeze, just so
Yeah,
nothing
you
would
know.
move.
Yeah, you know how it is, and it's
yeah.
it's so painful and just miserable. Yeah.
Now, did you know you were hurt right away?
Right away. Yeah, right away.
Good.
When I hit the wall, I could feel it in my back. I mean, it was just so excruciating pain. And so I knew something was wrong. I knew right away that something was messed up. And it's kind of weird, that whole, I mean, it's so vivid in your mind because, you know, you weren't knocked out and unconscious and everything.
Sure.
But like, I just remember when I finally stopped on the other side of the wall there, I mean, I'm talking like seconds. I must have stopped right where the doc was on the track because he got to me so fast. He literally scared the crap out of me. Like, I mean, he scared me how fast, he was at the car.
Why are you here already?
Yeah, I know, because it was like, I mean, it was like, I'm not kidding, like 2 seconds. Like the car had stopped and he was right there and he goes, "Brandon." And I was like, "What the hell? Where'd you come from?" You know, it was like, it was just so crazy. And he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, doc, I'm not." And I had just seen that same doc a couple of days before because one of our crew guys got hurt. And so like I had just talked to him a bunch and everything because I was coordinating with him about trying to get our crew guy fixed and everything. And and it was just so weird how all that kind of played into it. But he was right there next to the car and in the cockpit, like, you know, right when I stopped. I mean, it was like 2 seconds. He was right there. And I told him right away, I said, "Man, doc, my back, I'm really, really hurt." And he goes, "Okay, well, just don't move and just, you know, stay there." And then another like 30 or 40 seconds. And then my dad jumped on top of the car and got in the cockpit, you know, and said, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, Dad, I'm really, really hurt." And I said, "My back's messed up." And he goes, "Well, okay, can you move your fingers?" And I moved my hands and my fingers. And he goes, "Okay, now try and move your toes and everything." Cause I was kind of getting in shock a little bit. I was like trying to, you know, I was breathing real heavy and I couldn't breathe really. And I was in a lot of pain. And he goes, "Can you move your toes?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I can move my toes. I can feel them." He goes, "Okay, just try to take a breath. You're going to be okay." And so that kind of like calmed me. And it could have gone the other way. I mean, if I couldn't have moved my feet, you know, my toes, then we could have been in a panic situation. But at the time it was like, you know, the thing to ask and everything. And so then I kind of like relaxed a little bit and just tried to breathe, but it was so hard to breathe because of where the fracture was. I just couldn't get a good deep breath in because it was so much pain. So
wow.
Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy crash, man. And it was all to do with where our chassis was built at the time. There was just one single upright, and the way that the top of the roll cage was and everything, it basically held my spine in place. And right when I hit the wall, I just hit it at a weird angle and it basically kept my spine in place. But right where the top of the roll cage ended, that's where the fracture was. And so basically later, like 2 races after that, everybody had to change their chassis and put two bars off of that center bar. Instead of having one, we put 2 off to the side so that we didn't have that happen to anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the safety stuff Definitely got developed from people getting hurt.
They come from crashes and people getting hurt. They really do. I mean, and we learn and we make the adjustments so that it doesn't happen to anybody else again. And that's, unfortunately, that's how we learn sometimes. But, sometimes we make, good adjustments just by, learning other ways. But yeah, a lot of times it really does come from somebody else getting hurt, but we make those adjustments.
I mean, look at everything that happened after Earnhardt passed
I
away.
was just going to say, he pretty much pioneered the getting hurt and developing safety stuff. And then John Force, when Eric Medlin passed away, I mean, his whole crew from Eric Medlin's dad to John and everyone involved with the team, they took safety like to the next level.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they formed the whole Eric Medlin project.
Yep. So unfortunately, good stuff does come out of bad stuff, but
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, enough of this doom and gloom stuff.
Yeah, right. Enough of that stuff.
I just considering I can't remember what I eat for breakfast. I'm surprised that I remember like where I was when you crashed and stuff.
Yeah, right. Some of the things we remember.
Right. So two things that I really want to ask you.
Yeah.
The first thing is, in my opinion, arguably you at one time worked for one of the most brilliant people in drag racing. And obviously I'm talking about Alan Johnson.
Yes, sir.
I don't know when you guys parted ways or what happened, but I would love to know what it was like working for basically the Einstein of NHRA.
Yeah. Amazing. Let me tell you, that man, I can't say enough about AJ. He's one of my closest friends out there, to be honest. I've known AJ for many, many years, even before I went to work for him and everything. We were good friends. And growing up, I idolized him as the amazing crew chief that he was, and the brain. It was really Dale Armstrong and him that that really changed the face of NHRA as far as tuners go and everything. And so knowing him as a friend and really getting to know him that way before I became an employee of his and AJR was really really nice that way. And then it just when he gave me the opportunity to be his general manager with the Top Fuel teams, it was just a natural fit. We his business mindset and the way that he wants a team run and the perfection that he wants and everything is a lot like my father in the way that my dad was and with his teams and everything. And so it was just a really natural fit for me to come in there and really just, take it to that level and keep it at that level that I'm used to with my dad's teams and everything. So, he's amazing. I mean, he really is. He's just, he's got a side of him that a lot of people don't know that's very genuine and really takes care of his employees and really is just genuine person, and he's just down to earth. He may strike some people as being cocky and just one of those kind of ways, but he's not. He's just he's a very confident person. He knows how to make a car run the way it runs, and people may rub him the wrong way, but he's not. He's just he's a genuine person. He's family man. He's amazing. He really is. And I've and over the years and then working for him, we become just extremely close friends. And we saw I worked, I still did a lot of things for him, actually, even when I went to the pro mod side and went back working for KH again and everything, because we still had a lot of parts and pieces with the AJR team and everything that I still handled for him, because he was in California and we still had a bunch of stuff in Indies. So I still kind of did that on the side for him for a few years there, trying to sell off some of the parts and pieces and things. And but no, we're still like really close friends. I go over to him at Coletta and and always kind of shoot the shit with him and just,
Right,
be friends. And I mean, it's just, we still have a great relationship, and it's just amazing. I mean, he's very meticulous. He's very, he knows what what he wants out of a race car, and he knows how to get it. And it's just amazing to watch. I mean, it really is. And when we had our trucks and everything and trailers out there, like I shared the office with him. And so there was a lot, there in our hospitality, office there that I learned a lot from him, and learned a lot of tuning, things from him, and got to watch, how he did things and how he actually tuned cars and stuff like that. And listen to, when Jake would come over and Brian would come in, and they would talk about, setups and do what, they wanted to do and everything. And man, it's just amazing. I mean, he's the man. He is. It's amazing to watch.
I don't know if you could have the kind of success that he's had without being methodical and a perfectionist the way he is. I mean,
yeah.
You always hear hard work pays off, and I mean, he's got to be the prime example of that, I would think.
And he is. And every week that he goes back to Santa Maria, he's always, doing something for that race team that week. Like, he's got his business and everything with AJPE, and he's got all of his customers, and he takes care of all of them too. But he's always thinking of, something else to better the race team when he gets back to the track the next week, or always trying to perfect something else that, that maybe didn't go exactly how he wanted it that weekend. It's amazing to watch. I mean, it really is. He's quite the individual. Yeah.
You don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and you and your dad have always been someone that I've somewhat kept track of, or like to watch.
Yeah.
Alan Johnson definitely, but you don't know if when you get asked a question, oh, that guy's an asshole, screw him, or obviously the better side is what we just talked about.
Yep, absolutely.
That's why I started out with I don't care what happened, but I just wanted to know what it was like. Very refreshing to know that you guys are still tight, and
we are
on a good note. That's really cool to hear.
Yep, for sure.
Now, when certain people are involved in drag racing, I'm sure a lot of other people do it too, but I always say, like, what would happen if this person just decided they didn't want to be involved with drag racing anymore? And that's obviously going to lead me into the Lucas family.
Right.
If you think about all the stuff that they've done for drag racing, and if one day they just decided we're all set with drag racing, how crippling it would be. It's a double-edged sword, because in one hand, you recognize and respect what they do for the sport that we all love.
Yep.
But in the other hand, it's like, wow, what if, God forbid, financial. I mean, we made it through a pandemic and all this stuff, and they support this sport as much as they ever have, as far as I know, anyway.
Oh yeah.
It seems to be like one hell of an incredible family that helps us all out with what we love to do.
Yeah, and they do, and it's it's amazing. I mean, from day one, when they signed the contract to help out the Sportsman Series and do what they do in NHRA, that's Forrest's vision. That's his grassroots, racing that he loves the most. And we still feel that way. It's not, it's just, I think it's, sometimes people see that, maybe we're not sponsoring as much, or that our marketing dollars are going in some different ways, that they see that, hey, we're sponsoring Monster Jam now, or we pick up the Cowboy. Right. We do other things. Well, yeah, we're still, we're still a marketing, arm, and we're still, Lucas Oil, and we're still trying to, to sell more oil. I mean, that's the bottom line. We want to sell our products. And so to do that, we're utilizing our marketing dollars in maybe some other ways, but yet, NHRA, I think, is always going to be there for us. At this point, I don't see us, going anywhere. We've got this year, next year on the contract. So, 2024 would be our renewal year. So, we're already in negotiations, with NHRA to see
nice.
where we're going with it. So, but I really don't see us, as far as, us going anywhere from NHRA. I hope that we can come to, some type of an agreement to keep us, in the sportsman, all the division series and keep us, the title rights and everything. So I don't really see us doing anything there as far as, going away from it, because we are, vested so much in NHRA and we have been there for so long. And plus the fact that, if I'm, in this position, which I hope to, still be in this position, Morgan and I feel that, that this place is a great place for us to put our dollars in and still be, getting the return that we feel is necessary, with all of our racers and with all of our, grassroots people. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a business that has to be profitable.
And it is, and it definitely is. And we feel that we're still getting that return. So, if we're getting that return, then I don't see us, moving anywhere from it.
Right.
But yeah, we love it. We love, obviously both of us being drivers and, we love the NHRA. We love what they're doing. And, I don't see us, really moving anywhere from it.
Nice. Very reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, I pretty much bogarted this whole friggin' interview right now. So.
Yeah, you did.
I was going to ask how Morgan was doing too, because he's been out of the scene for a while.
You know what? He's doing terrific, honestly. And he really has, and, I've known him forever. We're great friends and everything. And he really has stepped into the president's role of Lucas Oil and really has, he's in the office every day and really has just shown me that, he is the face of Lucas Oil and can really take this company to the next level. And I'm proud as hell to say that he's our president, to be honest. So it's really cool to watch and see his progression. So I'm excited for the future of Lucas Oil.
Now here's the big question. Are you and Morgan both currently have your Top Fuel licenses up to date?
No, we don't. Yeah.
He doesn't either?
We haven't. No, he hasn't been in a car in forever either.
Oh, man. Come on. You're killing me.
I know. Yeah. No, but that's not saying anything. We could, either one of us could go jump in a car and test it and, make 2 or 3 laps and we're good. So, I mean, it's not like we're going to go out there and just, go to 60 foot. I mean, we're going to the finish line. It's
now, forgive my ignorance, but did you ever race 1,000 foot?
Yes. Oh yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
I can't remember what year they went to 1,000 foot.
Yeah. Most of mine were quarter mile, but yeah, I did race 1,000 feet.
Maybe 09?
Yeah, I think just right. Yeah, I think that's right. Somewhere in there. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So you've done both.
Yeah.
And Morgan has, because he's raced more recently than you, correct?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. All my questions are answered.
Yeah,
if you ever hop in a car and take a couple.
Hey, have a great night. Yeah, I'll see you later. Everybody go have dinner now.
If you ever hop in a car and make a couple laps, I want to know when and where that's going to be.
You got it. Yeah.
That would be cool to spectate.
He'll want you to come up to New England Dragway and hot lap at New England.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right.
Excellent.
So I'm sticking with the driving part of it. Do you have that urge or that burn down in your belly to do it?
Yeah, the only time I really get the itch is on Sunday when I'm standing, on the line and it's, the national anthem's going and, first pair sitting there and all of a sudden they fire up and you just want to, kick somebody's ass next to you. It's more or less the competition.
Rip someone out of the seat. Get out of my way.
That's the only time it really gets to me, and it doesn't get to me that bad. It really doesn't. It would have to be, honestly, it would have to be the perfect scenario for me to get back in a car. It'd have to be the perfect sponsorship. It'd have to be with AJ, as the tuner, and it would just, a lot of things would just have to be perfect on it. And I just don't know that, it would ever come to fruition. Not to say that, I can't say never, but if I go out there and win the lottery and, then I'm calling AJ for sure, and it's just do it for 1 year. I just want one. The only thing I regret, honestly, is not winning the championship. I came close 1 year. In fact, the 07 was that year. As a matter of fact, when I came one round away from winning the championship. So, but yeah, it just, that's the only thing. And I would just do it. I'd try it for one season with AJ and see if I could win a championship, and that'd be, but it'd have to be, everything perfect. So, but it doesn't
I'd have to be on your crew, like rotate the tires or something.
Right? Yeah. But it really doesn't kill me to not be in a car. I mean, it really doesn't. I'm okay with it all. I mean, I've got, a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I've got my, I've had my share. I'm pretty good. And plus, I hate to say this, but I'm going to be the big 5-0 this year. And so, it's, I'm okay with it, to be honest. So.
Well, and you're also still heavily engulfed in the sport too, which helps.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If I was out of the sport and I was in some deadbeat job that I didn't, really enjoy, and I was reminiscing of, driving all the time, and I didn't have a chance to do that, or whatever, then maybe I'd feel different. But being in my position now and loving what I do with Lucas Oil and everything, with all the racing that I go to and be involved with, and all the teams and ambassadors and series and tracks and everything that I'm involved with and that I'm in charge of, it's just, this is something special. And I really enjoy what I'm doing right now. And I have a good time with being on this side of it, because I was in the other side for so long, being, the sponsoree, and so it's so much fun. And I like mentoring, a lot of these younger people too. I have a good time, doing that also, because there's a lot of young drivers out there, whether it be dirt, whether it be asphalt, whether it be whatever. And they need, some coaching on, how to do a deck, how to talk to sponsors, how to do any of this kind of stuff. And I think I have a lot of that knowledge that I like to share with people, and honestly help people to get money, and help people to deal with their sponsors and do it the right way, because a lot of people don't know how to do all that. And so, with the 30 years that we were with Budweiser and everything, and the years that we were with Copart, and I mean, all the years that I was with Lucas being sponsored, it just, I feel like that it's really nice to be able to share all that with people. So I don't know. I don't miss it that much, to be honest. It sometimes though I do. And like I said, it gives me the itch, every now and then. So
you and your dad were with Budweiser for 30 years.
30 years. Yeah.
That's got to be one of the longest.
Yeah, it was at the time, it was the longest running motorsport sponsorship. Yeah, it was longer than STP with Petty.
Now, how did Force do with Castrol?
Yeah, it was longer than Castrol. Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
his was 25 or 26 years or something. Wow. I think. So yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
pretty impressive. Yeah. All right, I got to put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
Luckily, not too many people watch this program, so you don't have to worry about it getting out. Right now, Top Fuel Dragster.
Yeah.
Who is the best naturally talented driver out there?
Naturally talented, I'd say Doug Coletta, to be honest. He's just in the seat. He just is such a talent. I mean, I just think that he's the best out there as far as natural talent, and everything. Now, that's not to say that there aren't any other great drivers out there. Sure. I think Ron Brown is a great driver. Obviously, There's some others out there, but I think Doug is the total package. And I hope he gets a chance to win a championship because he deserves one. And
I will tell you that when I heard that AJ came on board this year, because I would same thing. I would love to see him win a championship.
Yep, absolutely.
I can still vividly see the look on his face.
Oh, same here.
When Tony Schumacher made that run in Pomona.
Made the run, I know.
The run, yeah. I mean, that image is just etched into my brain.
Oh yeah, it's etched in everybody's brain.
God, that had to be defeating. Yep. I think about how I feel after losing first round. I can imagine.
Yeah, can imagine
that poor guy went through.
Yeah, I know.
Same question for Funny Car.
Yeah. Funny Car, I would say, I don't know. Funny Car, I'd say J.R. Todd's got, great natural talent. Honestly, like he's had so much, racing experience throughout his career. And now that he's been in Funny Car for, 4, 5, maybe 6 years now. I don't even know. I can't remember how many years it is now, but he's had so much now experience in the Funny Car. He's really come of age in that Funny Car now. You can really see now how he can feel and experience the short wheelbase now, compared to when he was driving, Top Fuel and everything. And so I really think he's probably, one of the better drivers out there. Obviously Ron Capps is amazing. He's a veteran out there, and everything. But I would say that, the younger JR is probably one of your better guys out there right now. So.
Very cool. All right, you're off the hot seat.
All right, cool.
Chris, what do you got, buddy?
All right. So, in your job with marketing at Lucas Oil, you see a lot of stuff come across your desk.
Yep.
Do you recall seeing something about a live show at Lebanon Valley for the Junior Dragster program?
Live show at Lebanon Valley. I can't say that I, right off the top of my head, but I'm sure that it did.
Lucas Oil, for the second or third time, has stepped up. I actually got the confirmation probably a month or so ago from Luann that you guys are going to sponsor our Junior Dragster live show. This will be the second year we've had a live show at Lebanon Valley Dragway for the divisional.
Okay.
Lucas Oil has also been involved with us in the past at the divisional event at New England Dragway. We've brought, what was it, Pete, altogether about 350, 375 kids over like 3 years to the divisional at New England. And I sent the proposal in and it got approved. Like I said, I spoke with Luann 4 or 6 weeks ago. And I just want to say thank you to Lucas Oil for stepping up and doing their part to recognize the kids and,
Sure. Well, we really feel honestly like that. We feel that, obviously the younger generation is huge, and to get those kids involved and, their parents are obviously putting out tons of money to get those cars out on the racetrack and to have these kids, go out and race and have a good time. And so, we're very passionate about the kids and junior drags and let them, get out there and support them and have a good time doing it. So.
And that's pretty much what I'm talking about when I mean, oh my God, what if? It's not even so much the big things that you see, it's the little things that you see. How you supported Chris and his Cars for Kids and stuff like that. And we know that if you're doing it for him, that you're doing it for hundreds and hundreds of other organizations that are helping stuff out.
And honestly, guys, it's tough because we can't do it for everybody, and that's where it's tough on me because I have to approve, disapprove some here and there, and it's usually year to year. Sometimes,
Sure.
we will go a year off, a year on, if it's the same kind of program. Sometimes we'll do multiple years. Don't get me wrong. We like doing that too, but sometimes it's tough because we just can't do it for everybody, but we try to do as much as we can. And whether it be, sometimes it's not just monetary, sometimes it's product, or if we do giveaways, raffle stuff. If you're having a car show or something, then, we like to give buckets out, and we'll send product stuff that you can use for giveaways or raffle items or something like that. So, it's just, like I said, sometimes it just gets tough in my position, and we just can't do it for everybody, but we try. Yeah.
It's got to be a double whammy too, because if I'm at the racetrack and I see so-and-so drive by with Lucas Oil sponsorship, it's like, well, hey, I'm going to write to Lucas Oil and see if I can get sponsorship. And it's got to be like the domino effect.
Yeah. Yep.
This is one of the pictures from a few years ago.
No, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. See that's just great stuff right there. See, you can't like that. You can't put a price on that. I mean, those kids are, that's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, over the course of 3 years, we brought around 350 or 375 kids.
That's cool.
To the event.
I remember one year, it might have been the year before COVID. You had a good 150 kids at one shot.
Yeah,
wow.
We had. I used to work at the local YMCA, and I also used to work at the local Boys and Girls Club. So we had. Yeah, Pete, you're probably right? The neighborhood of 150, 175 kids.
Yeah.
Nice. At one of the events. And like I said, it was about 350 or so kids over the course of a few years. And, for a little thing like what we do, and, we're just a couple of guys, and for Lucas Oil to step up and do their part, to give back to the kids, so, something that they'll remember being, live on Zoom and on Facebook, and, walk away with some Lucas Oil stuff. It's really cool that you guys do that.
Good deal.
I will tell you, one of the things that makes it easier for us is to believe in the product that we have to advertise.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
And I don't mean have to advertise, but when you go to a divisional, they want the Lucas sticker on the car and stuff like that. And every fluid I have in my car is Lucas Oil. Not because I've got that sticker on the side of my car, it's because I believe in it. It's not outrageously priced. It does a really great job. So it helps to be able to have faith in something that you have to talk about and support.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and then we pride ourselves on, obviously having a great product for people to enjoy, and for people to, really realize that, hey, this is a top-notch product, and we try to be in the right price point also with it. So,
right. Chris, who did we have on? I believe it was this season. Didn't we have someone in marketing from Lucas Oil? I remember him talking about
last year.
It was last year. I remember he was talking about like Forest and the lubricant packages and stuff, and like he's heavily involved in R&D for this stuff, which is pretty impressive.
He's a Lucas Oil rep out of upstate New York. Of course, now I can't. As soon as we get done, I'll remember his name.
You remember it, right?
Yeah, because I know we won Super Gas that weekend at the Valley.
You're absolutely right. Yep, you're absolutely right. And he was extremely knowledgeable about. I mean, he told me a bunch of stuff that I had no clue about.
Yeah, sure.
You're not just. Forrest and Morgan aren't just people out there peddling a product. They're like heavily involved in.
No, they're very involved.
R&D and pretty cool.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Good stuff. What do we have new on the horizon for Lucas? Anything exciting?
Well, we're not too much. I mean, we're pretty heavily involved, as you know, in dirt. Obviously, our series with our series with pro polling, then our other series with late model, And then, NHRA, obviously, and IndyCar. We stepped up our program in IndyCar with the Arrow McLaren SP this year. So you're going to see a lot more with us doing some stuff with them, with Felix Rosenquist and Pato Award. And then for the 500, or actually for the road, the Grand Prix, we're going to have a full livery with Lucas Oil and Montoya will be driving for that. So that's going to be kind of cool. So we did that last year, but I think this year is going to be a little bit better because of their program has been, stepped up quite a bit with Arrow. And everything, but not too much. I mean, we're still in, everything pretty much. I mean, as you see,
You guys still do drag boat stuff?
We aren't really doing drag boat stuff. Yeah, we don't have the series anymore, and
I'm trying to think of all the things that I watch on TV, and I see the Lucas name.
Yeah. We do a few. There's a couple of races that happen out in Wheatland, at that track there that still have it. But we don't have the series anymore. Just mainly because the boat count just went down, for the most part, and everything. But yeah, so we're and then obviously, like I said, we did the big deal with Monster Jam. And Cynthia. So we've got our truck in that. So, we're pretty set for this year and everything. But on the horizon, not really sure. We're just, we're kind of looking at other things where we're just kind of looking at different things. We may be tweaking the program a little bit here and there. But other than that, yeah, we're going to plug along and see where it takes us.
Awesome. Are you going to be at Epping this year?
I'm going to try to. I'm not sure if I can make that one or not. It depends on the schedule with some of the other series and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to try to make it back up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Of all the tracks that you've raced on, all the tracks that you've had the chance to visit in your job, what is the one place you have not done either that just is in the back of your head going, I have to go there?
Well, that's a good question.
Is there any that you haven't been at?
Yeah, there's a few that I haven't been at. I mean, if we're talking like, Formula One stuff, or we're talking like,
anything.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to go to Monaco. I've never been, to that racetrack, and I'd like to go see that at some point. That's on my bucket list, to be honest. That's always been one that I'd like to go check out. For sure at some point, and go see that race. But other than that, I mean, not really. I've been to pretty much everything else. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm sure there's some that I haven't been to, but yeah, I mean, pretty much all of it's, kind of relative. I mean, racetracks are racetracks, but some are cooler than others. But,
right.
But yeah, no, I've been to pretty much all kinds. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Monaco's on my 18-year-old son's wish list.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Like, yeah, keep saving.
Exactly. That's what you got to do. I tell you what, the Vegas race is going to be pretty cool though, I bet. So, when they come to Vegas, I bet that's going to be pretty badass. So,
yeah. Well, I live in New Hampshire, and I'm about roughly 4 hours from Montreal.
Yep.
So, yeah, he's a Formula One fanatic. So
yeah.
Like, you can go, or you got to bring me because I'm going to drive you. So
there you go.
You got to pay for my motel, for everything.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect.
Well, Brandon, very cool. I'm really glad you were able to make the time to come on and hang out with us and talk, pretty much about everything with, your racing and Lucas Oil and, the Lucas Oil drag racing series.
Yes, sir.
And it was awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Brandon, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We appreciate it.
You got it. Take care, guys. We'll see you.
All right, Brandon. Have a great night.
All right, you too. See ya.
Take care.
All right. Very cool. Brandon Bernstein, everybody. That was awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that was one of the more exciting ones that I've done.
Got the fanboy. Are you happy?
I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I can't lie.
Well, that's cool. So they're renegotiating. So that's got to make a lot of people happy.
Yep. I think NHRA and Lucas Oil do a lot for each other.
I
So,
think you're right. All right. So I know I didn't send these to you, but that's all right. You'll survive.
I know who won
Um,
Super Street.
Yeah, that's true. And we know who won Super Comp.
Super Comp, yep.
So again, NHRA Division One kicked off the PC Richards National Open Series this past weekend at ATCO, and my understanding is the weather conditions were absolutely astonishing. for
Like the
making record
definition of mine shaft.
So now the mine shaft doesn't apply at the Open though, correct?
I don't believe so. You
So
gotta remember, I race in a class that doesn't matter.
well, that's
So I don't know, I know divisionals, it comes into play. I don't know about national opens.
Yeah, I thought I read what somebody posted that it doesn't affect the national opens.
Yeah, because
I
I
could
don't
be wrong.
know, if they penalize or anything for runs that you make during a national open. So if that's the case, then no, it wouldn't matter
Right,
if they declared a mine shaft or not.
Cool. All right. So in Superstock, it's not a surprise. He seems to win every time at ATCO anyways, no matter what the race is. Of course, talking about Anthony Fetch over Steve Zupka. Stock eliminator Shane Oakes over Joe. I hope it's Maki. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Mocci. I'm gonna go with Maki.
Sure.
All right. Super Comp. Past guest. So if this is any indication of the season, you need to be a guest on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? That's it.
Number one
I'm
qualifier.
going from co-host to guest. I'm out of here.
Get out of here. Just so you can win a Wally.
Right?
So we got to give props to Vincent Nobile, because he was number one qualifier, 890 with a 1, and won the race over Gregory Hayes. Nobile 893 flat at 178 miles an hour to Hayes 888 at 174 miles an hour. So very cool for him. Super Gas, Nick. Let me enlarge this again. Nick Alt over David Muller.
Yep.
Super Street. Go ahead, Pete.
Sean Frick over, I have no idea. All I know is Sean Frick won. And if I'm not mistaken, he put together a 9 thou pack in the final. Am I right in saying that?
Over Bill Hacker, he was 890 with a 5. Sean was 890 with a 5.
Yep.
To Bill's 889, 880, 1088 with a 9.
Right. And what was Sean's light? Was it like a 4 or something crazy like that?
004.
Yeah, I read it and I'm like, God damn, he put a 9 pack in the final.
Deadly. All right. Top dragster, no surprise, Alan Kenny over Glenn Flack. Kenny was also number one qualifier with a 612 with a 9 at 228 miles an hour. I can see you in a top dragster.
Better be one of those little ones so I could see out of the windshield.
Oh, so that rules Freddie's car out because you won't even reach the pedals.
Yeah, I know, right? I'll have to put blocks on my feet.
There you go. All right. Top sportsman, Ron Regal over Brian Moody. Regal ran 688 with a 4 at 203 to take out Moody, who ran 769 with a 4 at 173. And then the index classes, I don't know anybody who runs the index classes. Do you? Not that matters. We're still.
I didn't even know that they contested the index classes. What is it? 850, 10-0, 1150?
minimize this so I have everything. Yeah, 850, 10-0, and 1150. All right, in 850 index, Ron Regal, or excuse me, no, sorry, I read that wrong. 850 index, Daniel Purdy over Jonathan De La Rosa. 10-0 index, Sean Thomas over Nick Russ. And man, I could barely see the other one. Hold on.
1150.
Yeah,
Make your-
that much I can see.
Make your cars faster so we can announce it sooner.
1150 index. Richard Wendler. Of course, I can't see. Man, I need new glasses. Oops, wrong button. All right, results. Trying to read results. Great. Avril ring, it looks like. I don't know. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Here's this, the winner and runner-up of 1150.
Yeah.
If you're listening, reach out to us. We'll have you on the show because we can't pronounce your name.
It's, we can pronounce it if we could see it.
If you could see it, yeah.
But also on that subject, last year we complained a lot about the fact that the open results were not
Yes.
Up.
Yep. So
and
far, so
talking
good.
with. I'm sorry.
So far, so good this year.
Well, I talked to her yesterday and said her goal is Friday night to have qualifying up for the opens, and as soon as possible get the results up, the final results.
Yeah, and listen, there's something that we have to all keep in mind is that, you know, the people posting these results for us probably aren't getting paid. And they aren't getting info messaged to them so that they could just look at a sheet of paper and type it up and boom, it's on the internet. You know, it's a lot of digging, researching, a lot of time that's probably volunteer. So we just got to kind of make it a point to let them know that we're grateful when we do get it, because I'm sure it's no easy task.
The open results and some of the divisional stuff is tough to get. I mean, obviously, as everybody knows, the national event stuff is
Yeah, right. You
99
get that.
times out of 100 up 20 minutes after the round is completed. So
The results are usually up for national events before it airs on TV.
yeah, and some people forget that and then they put it up on Facebook.
And then some people yell at some people.
And then they get yelled at. I won't mention any names.
Yeah, right.
So
Good stuff.
coming up this weekend, again at ADCO, is going to be the kickoff to the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series divisional events.
Yep.
And I believe it's also a regional event this weekend as well, which will mean alcohol will be there if that be the case. Let me double check. I'm surprised Rob was listening. I'm surprised he hasn't schedule typed in, because he usually has quicker on it than I am.
Yeah, right. You and me both.
I have enough time seeing and talking sometimes. All right, let's see. Divisional schedule. Yeah, ADCO is a regional, so alcohol cars will be there. Cecil County, May 20th and 21st is also a regional. May 27th through the 29th at Maple Grove is also a regional. And of course, Lebanon Valley, June 10th through the 12th is a regional as well. So again, regional means alcohol cars will be there. Remind everybody that June 11th is Saturday night, starting at 7 o'clock. We are going to be live with the Junior Dragster kids. If any of the kids are listening in, and if any of our co-hosts are listening in, could you please reach out and contact me? Just want to go over a couple of things. I'm going to put a post on Facebook. That also means that guess the number of entries contest is officially kicked off. It's been up for about a week. I've only got 5 guesses so far. We need more than that to make it fun. But we're not going to give up.
I am going to give you my on-air guess. It's regional, right? So alcohol cars will be there.
I mean, and juniors, you gotta include everybody. Alcohol, cars.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you need to find out how many tech cards sold.
Yeah.
That's
Usually unless one of our friends is there and can get me actual pictures of the qualifying sheets, I try to wait till Monday when I can see everything and I'll go through it myself.
right.
If we don't have one of our contacts there.
Yep.
Just to be the essence of being fair.
So I am going to
Obviously,
say,
if they're on the qualifying sheet, they bought a tech card.
right.
So,
Yeah, but there's some people who bought tech cards that aren't on the qualifying sheet. So that's kind of like the gray area. That's why I just say go buy tech cards and this way here.
that's hard information to find out, though. Unfortunately,
Is it?
it
See,
is.
we're lucky with Lebanon Valley because we have Sue. She would tell us.
Right. Unless one of our contacts is there.
Well, I'm sure Jim
Or
Jim
one of us
Hazley
is there.
Jim Hazley would tell us from Cecil.
Yeah.
Sue at Lebanon.
We need to make some friends.
Right. We got to know someone who knows someone that knows someone, I would think.
Yeah.
But in any event, back-to-back weekends at ATCO.
Yep.
The first time NHRA has been back to ATCO in 2 years. And it's a regional event. I am going to say 533.
Okay.
That's my number.
Okay. All right.
That's all I got for you.
All right. So like I said, everybody get on our Facebook page. I bumped it up, so get on there, make a guess. We've got stuff from Jags. We've got free custom made t-shirt again by Mama T's Custom Creations. I have a ton of stuff this year. And as the year goes on, we probably are going to have more. So
I like it.
get on, make a guess, win some free stuff.
I think Straight Line could throw a couple of shirts in there too. We got the connection.
We know people who know people. So
Who's
we know
on?
people.
Yeah, right. Who's on next week?
Actually, next week is open. I was kind of thinking of doing some results stuff. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. Jasmine Weeder is probably going to be coming on if her work schedule comes on. It works out right. We're kind of throwing some people on the hot seat to do some on scene reporting, so to speak, especially with this is her first year traveling.
Right.
We'll do some results and kind of get the input from somebody who's getting out to tracks that they've never been to. So I thought it'd be kind of cool.
And when is Mr. Keister's series kicking off?
Hold that thought. You surprised me with that one. Again, unless Rob's listening. Let me just double check this. Aaron Schatt said he hopes the t-shirt is Pete's car.
We can make that happen.
Might be a red blob, but we can make it happen.
That's all right.
All right. Bear with me. Sorry. You snuck that one in on me.
Yeah.
So
We got to screen the questions before we go live next time.
we're such a bunch of amateurs. Let's see. Mid-Atlantic 2022 schedule kicks off June 25th and 6th at Maple Grove. Dot 90, top sportsman, top dragster, and juniors.
So that's the first races, the end of June?
He's got to start late this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, June 25th and 6th at the Grove, June 16th and 17th at Cecil for the 14th annual Sportsman Circuit Shootout, July 30th and 31st at ATCO for the 10th annual Northeast Shootout. To go back to Cecil, August 20th and 21st for one of my favorite events. It'll be the 29th
Uncle Buck's.
annual Uncle Buck's Pig Roast. If you've never been to Uncle Buck's Pig Roast for the .90 Association at Cecil, I highly recommend it.
Very cool.
It's a lot of fun. Racing is great. The food is amazing. And then let's see. October 8th and 9th at ATCO for the Mid-Atlantic Fall Finale and Championship Weekend. And of course, we can't forget, I think you were going to try to go to this too if your schedule for school worked out right. September 9th through the 11th, the second annual Dave Stein Memorial. It's a non-points race. It's .90 top sportsman, top dragster, and juniors. More information will follow.
Is
Be sure
that,
to
did they
check
name
out-
a track for that event? Is that gonna be at Maple Grove again?
As far as I know, it is. It's not listed on here, but I'm 99% sure it's going to be at the Grove.
We might have to get him back on a week or two before he kicks off, just to update everyone and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So the Hot Rod Vegas not quite ready, but hopefully it'll be ready for.
It could be ready. I have so much stuff going on. Motorhome trailer. I can't stand that. My days of thrashing and going to the track not prepared or over. I'd rather take a week off and like I said, it's the open race at Lebanon Valley. I only have to take Friday off, and I can test all day on Friday, and then race Saturday and Sunday, and I'll just be much better equipped and ready to go. It's tough during the school year. Once school's out, it's a different story. It's game on, but I gotta kind of be fussy when I'm there. I'm still a rookie, so I gotta pay my dues,
Yeah, well, and you've had a kind of a chaotic beginning to 2022 anyways, so.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Should try and figure out something to bring some of your program kids out there.
So a lot of them ask me where I go and when I go. And this will be one of the ones that if they're going to come up, or the actual divisional race, which would probably be more feasible when there isn't school in session.
Right.
But yeah, I would like to get a bunch of them up and, check out the operation and stuff and be good for them.
That'd be cool. Yeah, bring them out, show them what it's all about. You might
That's
get
it.
somebody interested.
Absolutely. Get some free
All right.
child labor too. It never hurts.
There you go. And if they do a good job, they could get a Jags hat and a t-shirt out of it.
Perfect. Yeah, we could do that. Good stuff. All right, my friend. Well, I know I'll talk to you about 30 times this week, but have a good week.
All right, you too, buddy. And we want to thank Brandon Bernstein for coming on and
Yes.
talking. That was an awesome interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Yep.
And thank you to Lucas Oil Products for sponsoring the Junior Dragster live show at Lebanon Valley on June 11th.
Excellent. Couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, we will be back next Monday night with the results from the kickoff to the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series at ATCO, and Jasmine Weeder will be joining us. And onward and upward. Everybody have a great week.
Chris, thanks.
Got it, buddy.
We'll see you, pal.
All right, I'll send you a picture shortly.
You got it.
All right, have a great night, everybody. We are Gonzo.